My high school student said I was too old to understand computers, when actually I invented the programming language they were using. I'd been retired from MIT for 3 years when I decided to substitute teach at the local high school, just to stay connected with young minds. When I walked into the AP Computer Science classroom with my gray hair and reading glasses, I knew I looked like a clueless old woman who'd need help turning on the computer. What these students didn't know was that every line of code they'd write for their AP exam ran through architecture I'd designed from scratch. A boy named Tyler took one look at me and announced to the class, "Great, they sent us someone who probably thinks Python is an actual snake." The room erupted in laughter as I set down my bag and approached the whiteboard. When I asked them to open their development environments, Tyler slowly explained what a computer mouse was, moving his hand in exaggerated motions while the other students filmed it. My chest tightened, but I stayed calm, remembering why I'd wanted to do this after reading reports about how poorly students understood the fundamentals of the language they were just memorizing syntax for. I needed to see firsthand how it was being taught, even if that meant enduring some teenage mockery. A girl named Chloe raised her hand and asked if I knew what Wi-Fi was, then turned to her friend and whispered loudly enough for everyone to hear. She probably still uses a flip phone and thinks the internet is a series of tubes. When I pulled out my laptop to access the lesson plan, she gasped theatrically and said, "Oh my god, she actually owns a computer. I'm impressed. Do you need help finding the power button?" Tyler started explaining binary to me like I was 5 years old, using his fingers to count to 10 and asking if I understood that computers used ones and zeros. The class found this hilarious, especially when he drew pictures on the board of happy and sad faces to represent true and false values. "See, Grandma? The computer thinks in yes or no, like when you're deciding if you need your reading glasses." When I suggested we look at their current assignment, Tyler pulled up his code and immediately started lying about what it did, making up completely nonsensical explanations while his classmates nodded along, thinking they were fooling me. A student named Jackson decided to have more fun by changing all the variable names in the example code to insults about old people. Instead of username, he typed senile lady, and instead of process data, he wrote too old to understand. The class laughed hysterically as he projected it on the board, adding comments like, "This function probably confuses substitute teachers who should be in nursing homes." Chloe took it further by writing a quick program that displayed, "Old people shouldn't teach technology," in an infinite loop across my laptop screen when I stepped away to write on the board. She'd installed it remotely while I wasn't looking, and the entire class burst out laughing when I returned to find my screen filled with a scrolling message. Tyler then pulled up the actual AP exam prep materials and started intentionally teaching incorrect concepts to the class, telling them I wouldn't know the difference. He explained that recursion was just when code gets tired and needs to repeat itself, and that object-oriented programming was like when you're so old you treat your computer like a person. He kept looking at me to see if I'd correct him, smirking when I stayed quiet. Jackson found my faculty ID photo in the system and projected it on the board, then used a photo aging app in reverse to show what she looked like before computers were invented. They started a betting pool on whether I'd ever sent an email successfully, with Tyler collecting actual money while maintaining a spreadsheet of odds. They started throwing paper airplanes with binary insults written on them, things they thought I couldn't decode. Tyler wrote one that said 0100011101010101010101010101010, which spelled out dumb B in ASCII, showing it to everyone before launching it at my head. The entire class was in tears laughing as the planes piled up around my desk. I was about to address their behavior when Tyler's code crashed spectacularly, taking down the entire classroom network. Everyone's screens went blue with kernel panic errors that I recognized immediately as a catastrophic failure in the memory management system. Tyler frantically tried to fix it, but he was making it worse with every keystroke, about to corrupt the entire school's system. "Stop," I said quietly, walking over to his computer. "You're about to trigger a cascade failure that will wipe every machine in this building." Tyler laughed and said, "What would you know about it, Grandma?" I pushed him aside and began typing rapidly, my fingers flying across the keyboard as I entered commands they'd never seen before, diving directly into the kernel level to isolate the corruption before it spread. "Wait," Chloe whispered, her face going pale as she recognized the diagnostic commands I was using. "Those are developer-level functions. How do you even know those exist?" Full story on the channel below.